What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Foul Out Podcast. Today we got Cam, aka Woodstock Socrates. We got Jalen, Shaq, my brother, and myself. And we got 5 fouls, and we about to foul out. So the first question that I got for y'all is not really a headline thing. It's more on the hypothetical side of things, but when you look at history in Black America, you know, in the past we've always had like a singular direction on like something that we wanted for our people. You know, in the '60s it was like suffrage, voting rights and stuff like that. But like in 2025, if you could decide what direction Black America could move into, or what's the one thing we should be focused on, which would you decide, like which would you pick?
That's a good question. Mm,
Mhm.
we should
Man,
or we are doing it like it's already happening. We're moving in that direction, or should we? Are we picking a direction that we should be moving in?
You can speak on where we are, but ultimate question is
I'm
should
just
we?
gonna I'll just go
Yeah.
ahead and give my opinion on how what I think we should be doing. And somewhat of it's a mix of a blast from the past and some of it's kind of just a new focus. I think we gotta really go back to stressing the twice as good for the same exact thing as other races have. And also we need to direct that energy purely into the private sector and building our own conglomerates and corporations. Black people have spent a lot of time really trying to find some influence and power working in positions like at the federal government and starting a whole bunch of nonprofits, etc. I think the time for that is over, and we kind of need to see the direction that the country is going, which is going to be straight up free market capitalism. And as much as that may not a lot of people may not like that, but I just think we kind of have to go full forward with that, build our own conglomerates, and we don't have to worry about who's going to hire us, who's going to hire this. If you got like a mega corp of our own in different mega corps, we can have our own supply chains, distribution methods, and kind of build it up that way. So I think it's full focus to going into the private sector, trying to build large enterprises instead of just going for the public sector jobs of the past and starting nonprofits where we've invested a lot of our most talented and educated
Why
individuals.
why do you think we don't have any? Well, I ain't gonna say any, but many megacorps.
Well,
That's
the,
the that's a loaded statement right there.
the
Yeah.
deck has really been stacked. It's really been stacked against us, man. It was hard for us to get loans
Yeah.
back in the day, et cetera. We don't necessarily practice group economics in the way that you may see our Asian brothers and sisters as well as the Indians and some of our Jewish family kind of doing that. It's if it's one Jewish doctor in town, everybody's going to go to him. And if there's an Asian restaurant, everybody's going to go eat there. And while we might do it, we still kind of have that idea of the white man's ice is always colder. And we are just quick to go outside of our community for basic needs that I feel that we could fulfill on our own. But yeah, in the past, things may have been stacked against us, but man, 2025, it's time to just, I mean, I hate to say it, but you get the gist of what they're kind of telling us to do. You better pretend that it didn't happen and keep going and just kind of try to push yourself and just work together a little more, man. And it's also back in the day, man, black people get a job at the government, man, and they work there for their whole career. They stayed the same job and they hold on to it. And some of our best, brightest, and most educated people have spent a lot of their time just solely in the public sector. And there's nothing wrong with that. We've gained influence there and it's made a
So
difference. But at the end of the day, man, I think now it's time to really go and start our own private companies like
Yeah.
you know,
yeah, for sure.
Robert S. Smith. It's the private equity partners.
I
Think
like
more
to
like
play off
that.
of what you
You really
said
got to
about group economics to kind of bring out my point. So I feel like the one direction we should all kind of be aiming for on a unified front is family. So I think one of the biggest things back in the day, what you had is a strong familial unit, especially after things were put in place to take apart the black family unit. I think that things like the civil rights movement and, for a good period after that, the black family really put forth measures to try to stay together and really, play politics, play within society, everything through a strong family unit. And I think nowadays we don't really have that. And it's like we can't have group economics if we can't even within the household first, come together and, be on one accord as far as, what direction we want to have economically or what direction we want to have as a family unit or, whatever the case may be. And I think once you kind of put that back into perspective, put, black families back into a notion of growth in every aspect of life and society. I think that's how we first start to bridge the gap and then, come into one mission. It starts in the household.
Yeah, I love everything that both of y'all have said. They both of y'all are spot on 100%. And I'll carry on the torch with the discussion on economics. Feel like I would love to see there being groups of of black people owning real estate. And I don't necessarily just mean like, single family homes, that's great too. But
Yeah.
I would love seeing black ownership over multifamily complexes, these large complexes, hotels, resorts, like all those areas and facets of real estate, commercial real estate, even like there's so much power and ownership, and you can own a company, you can also own the dirt that we all have to walk on and live on, and there no one's recreating that, no one's making more of that. I would love to see more groups of black sounds, I sound a little racist. I would love to see more groups of black people owning real estate itself. In addition to everything else that you guys said, ownership of businesses, and also starting from the unit, from the household, make sure that's solidified. But yeah, I would love to see some real estate.
Yeah, I think we value real estate much less nowadays. I think people get passed down homes and the first thing they think about is selling them. And
Yep.
Yeah.
it's not about keeping
Hmm.
the family
All
on.
right.
I guess
I'm ready
I
to say.
oh go ahead.
Y'all can hear me. All right. Make sure this thing is loud and clear. All right.
It
How
is a
about
bit
now?
low.
I'm loud and clear now.
That's better
Yeah, I
actually.
would
Yeah.
cut it down just a tad though.
Right there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So look, man. The thing is, our people have a bad, terrible misconception about what wealth is, about what business is, and what about working together is. Every time you see a black-owned company, it's owned by one guy. Think about it. The hot dog stand, everything. Now, when you go and look right down the street and look at the white companies, what do they have? Multiple owners. We are so stuck into this mindset that one guy owns Walmart, that a guy owns the NFL. I can tell by talking to some of my friends on the phone. That's not true. Um, we got this the man, like one dude is the man, and most things ain't done like that. Most things done in a group, you know.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
to us, I always notice that group is not necessarily shown to us. So like for the people. For the people, I'm gonna do this. Like, let's just say Drake with the ghostwriting thing. Oh my God, you supposed to be writing that yourself. But little do they know, and little do most of us black people know that most songs that you like are written by a group of people, not one guy. Right? So that's how it seemed like we're trained to go into business. We got to learn to work together without trying to kill each other or want to sue each other or losing, or just losing your mind with each other. Understands ups and downs in the business. Some people say, I don't want to work with my cousin. I don't want to go into business with him because I don't want him in my business. Like that kind of stuff. That
Yeah.
kind of stuff has to fly out of the window for us to excel. Because whenever you see that big property downtown in Austin, that's not owned by one dude. That's owned by multiple people. So, we tried to do that with the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, but the guy kind of like just scammed everybody. But that's the right direction. But I feel like that was a plant. Do y'all know about the Tulsa Real Estate Fund with Jay Morrison? Look it up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know about that. No, that's I think you bring up a really good point,
I
though,
wanna I
Arkeem.
wanna jump. Go ahead, Shay.
No, I don't have a lot to say. I was just gonna say, I mean, that same kind of mindset lives within like the black church, even. Like, while we have so many black churches on like every single corner in the same neighborhood on MLK Street, like there's like
yeah,
5 or 10 churches, and it's like the old school mindset is like, we all believe different things, like, but what it really boils down to is it kind of boils down to a little bit more, but I ain't gonna go into all that. That ain't what we talking about. But Anthony, what you
Right.
got, man?
Yeah.
Well, they ain't paying no taxes. That's why they got them churches still there.
Yeah. So in my opinion, I want to kind of like shift,
We ain't going
pivot
there,
a little
Kim.
bit on the subject. It's like, you know, 90% of 90. Okay, so black businesses, creation, like the founding of them, are on the increase. Like 20-30% increase in the past 20 years or so. But the problem is 90% of black businesses don't employ anyone, meaning they're like sole proprietorships, like my brother was saying. So I'm starting to think that our issue is not necessarily starting businesses, it's like scaling businesses. You know, there seems to be some informational block that we just aren't getting to where we know how to like scale our businesses. And I'll even say that that's something that I've noticed, about businesses that I've started. Is like it's easy to have a sole proprietorship that, I can pay myself and do well. But it's like, how do you create systems that you can just take a person or a cog and just put them in a machine and they can just work, you know?
Hmm.
So yeah, that's what I think. I think we do have a scale problem for one. But other than that, I agree with what y'all was saying about, you know, but I think we really need to have a cerebral approach to how we use our dollars. For example, more
Libra, it's
people
a
know.
nice word.
Yeah, bro. More people know who Young Thug is than Robert Smith. You know what I'm saying? One of them is one of the richest people in the world, and one of them is a rapper. You know, so
Yeah.
so this guy, he makes more money. He did it in a sustainable way. He can pass that down to his kids, but he's not glorified. You know what I mean? In our community, and I think, unless more people know who Robert Smith is, know how he did it, more people won't be able to replicate the same thing.
Mm.
That's
Now
just kind
you
of my
now you taking shots at the culture, Anthony.
but the
yeah.
That's a
culture is a cage. The whole culture is a cage, man. Just think about it. Just look at these guys. You can look on the news anytime. They celebrate being. You get in the hood, which is where most black people at. Let's just be honest, mentally or physically. That's where most black people at. It's like these days they want to try to attach a stereotype that white people made about us as being a part of the culture.
That's so
Like
true.
if you ever try to say, "Hey, that dude there, he ain't black enough," and I say, "Well, what make him not black then?" They gonna give you some stereotypical
Yep.
Oh well, look at him. He ain't got no do rag, and his mama don't smell like shea butter. You know what I'm saying? Like some stereotypical characteristic to say why he not black. But then if another race said that about you, they'll be tripping. Think about it. Look at how our culture teaches us to deal with anger. Go kill him. Go spin. You see what I'm saying?
Completely agree. And like I said,
Hmm.
that all like stems from, to me, the home. The things that you practice in the home are what come, the internal comes out on the external. And it's just like if your child grows up and you getting them every name brand materialistic thing that they ever wanted, every time some Jordans come out, they got to get them. Right there, we starting the trend of perpetuating these stereotypes. If we don't basically focus on the right things in the home, is we have no chance of going out into the real world and trying to get some kind of basis of what we really supposed to be doing. It's impossible.
That's
Jay,
real.
Jay's right, man. Like it starts with our value system, and like we have a misplaced value system. Like we the things that we want or we receive reward, we feel rewarded from the wrong things. And I think to your point, Arkeem, and Andrew, to your point, it's like why can't we shift that to I feel rewarded when I learned something new today. I feel rewarded whenever I made my first dollar by myself doing my own business. Why can't we need to change the mindset to being that. And, but I will say it's not to say that like all the other cultures or races or whatever you want to say, not to say that all of them
Or
are
doing
thinking that way, because they're 100% not. Like not everybody is affluent in every other race, in the world besides black people. Um, but I think for us, kind of going to our topic, of the week, we have to work harder. The system was stacked against us. To Cam's point from earlier, the system was stacked against us from the beginning.
It's
We
like
have
the
to work harder.
Marines. I look at us like the Marines, the few, the proud. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why we always have to go above and beyond. You know what I'm saying? We a
Hmm.
small speck, but it's just like we loud. And I ain't talking about loud and just when we come in, it's just like any sport we done been in. We done seen this in the last few years as we start to break barriers and go into different sports. Like we go into different things, different frontiers, and we smash. You know what I'm saying? For lack of a better term, like. And I
Yeah,
think
I agree. It's like
Hmm.
we pack a powerful punch, and for some reason, they pay attention to us a lot.
We just can't work together, man. I mean, when you really look at it, man, dude, you can go back to the continent, man. And Africa should be way more powerful as a unified force than it is. But they arguing about, I don't even know what they arguing about over there. We arguing so much over here, I don't know what they arguing about over there. But I mean, it's just a thing, man. We've got to get together, be able to work together, put differences aside, stop trying to scheme on everybody's stuff all the time. We always try and get a leg up on somebody, get mad when somebody excels past the main group. Soon as one person start doing better out of the group of five, oh, I can't believe him. He gonna try to think he's
I
that.
see
Like,
Africa
man,
as a
you should
big
you should
Jim
uplift
Crow.
him.
Not to cut you off, but to that, no, I see Africa as a big Jim Crow. Basically, I think Africa was taken advantage of by all these more well-off countries throughout its
Oh,
history. Like even, I mean, even from
still is.
Absolutely,
exactly,
man.
like
Still is.
My only thing now is though, man, I'm at the point now. Look, we didn't went through the systems. We didn't seen the oppression. It's didn't happen. We are where we are.
what
What we
we gonna
gonna do?
do? The system
So,
had
but
all the
That's
time.
all I'm
hey,
thinking
hey,
about.
you are
What are
right.
we doing tomorrow?
You are right.
Yesterday, we ain't
You
getting off
you
that.
are
It's over.
you're right, Cam. Though, like, what are we gonna do now? Like, what's our next steps? And I feel like this is where I challenge our black billionaires, even millionaires at this point, right? It's like you can go over there to that country, I mean not country, but the continent, and make a huge impact. To Jay's point, it doesn't. I don't like hearing
Shout out to
the
EYL.
who.
Oh yeah, out there in Ghana.
EYL, they got a little
Yeah, shout
project
out to
going
them
on in
boys.
Ghana, doing some
I think, yeah, actually, I think I have heard
good
about
stuff.
that.
He
Yeah,
invested
I
in
think I have heard
Ghana.
about that. But more people like that should be like Kanye West. Instead of you posting stuff about Jews, I would love to see you going over to Africa, buying a couple countries and improving it over there. At least it's black owned at that point, right? It's owned by other nations, like all the parts of, oh, and part of that, I can't speak intelligently to it, but part of the reason why they're fighting is because of the ownership of other countries. Like that's a problem, and it's like we're at a point where it's like how we fight back now. We're talking about financially is how we fight back as a people right now. We don't have the same oppressions that we did back in the day, right? They had to march for us. They had to do boycotts.
We still got the residuals from it though.
No,
That's the
one
part
hundred
that
percent,
it's
one
like,
hundred
It's
percent. You're
tough,
right
man.
though.
and it's
It's
like,
You're right.
it's easy to just like it's easy for us to just be like, man, let's just put on our bootstraps. That's what they was telling us back in the day. You know what I mean? But
You,
it's more to the magnitude of
but
it's
it
more to the situation.
n-
You know what I mean?
I
for
agree.
sure. But there's two things to go with this for me, man. At the end of the day, though, it's the best now that it's ever been, man. I mean, like, dude, my dad was drinking out of separate water fountains when he was a kid.
Yep,
And just think where we
same.
at now, man. And like, also, man, you got to think things are changing fast, man. A lot of hoods and stuff are getting gentrified, man. A lot of people getting pushed out, man, more into more mixed communities, more into the suburbs, man. You're not you're not gonna have this as much of the same unity that comes from people all coming from a specific neighborhood or area anymore. So that's another thing, man. We gotta get a new model to unify thoughts and beliefs within the culture to kind of sort of push forward.
Hmm.
I mean, you even looking at we'll translate to the NBA. Like NBA don't got the trench babies no more. That's done. Where them kids coming from? They coming
I
from
noticed
AAU
that
now.
too, man.
It's a different vibe now, man. So things are changing, man, and we got to kind of sort of see the shift instead of trying to hold on to the old model of. I mean, so much of our community, dog, is like, if I can become an athlete or I can become a rapper. Dog, that model is done now, man, and we got to start providing new models and things for the youngins to mold themselves and try to push towards.
100%. Now, I do want to move from this topic, and this is something we can go deeper on another pod. But before we go, I want to do a quick hit. Do y'all think the culture is it net bad or is it net good?
Man, that's a good question.
Isn't that bad? Isn't
Man,
that bad?
Okay.
It's yeah. I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
man, I mean, you say
I'm
it,
old
but
now.
then
That
you
shit,
look
man,
at
it's terrible.
times. You look at
I'm
times like the
old now,
Renaissance.
man.
You look at times like hieroglyphs and stuff like that. You look at the seven wonders of the world, and it's just like, man, to me, the culture that black people. It's just like when I watch a black movie that is like really centered in just like a black family unit, like going through the struggles of the world, you know what I mean, and the struggles that the system has placed on them, and somehow, through them working together, they get through whatever this challenge is. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we do have the times where it's just some frivolous BS, where we just out doing stuff. But I think also the culture has just breeded this like I don't know. It's just a certain sauce. Like I take Obama as a good example of this. I think without the culture, you don't get an Obama. Somebody who's able to go into a room with high positions of authority, who from all kind of different walks of life and backgrounds, who know nothing about the hood or anything like that. It's just like I think you only get that if you have like a little bit of that rough edge that the culture that we talking about that gives us the net negative. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I agree. I lean towards the net negative, but it's just like I can't picture me without part of that culture. I don't know what I look like if I don't go through some of those things or see some of those things that I saw. Yes, did some bad things come out of those, but yeah, I think the way that I can walk into a room with people that don't nobody look like me and still be able to
You don't think
present.
you would have been better?
I don't know, man. I feel like I would have been one more run of the mill. I think I would have been more. It's like that episode of Fairly Odd Parents when Timmy wishes for everybody to be real. I think the culture gave me the pink hat. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else was great block. I think the culture gave me the pink hat.
What a
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that's a good
I think
question.
I'm gonna just say I'm gonna say net negative. I agree with you, Jalen. It's got some good parts. I think we all can say that, but net, I'm gonna say negative. I think it just cage you up too much. Into what is considered black and what a black person is capable of, what a black person can do. And it's always it's always the good stuff that we can't do or not supposed to do. That's the crazy part.
Mm,
I mean, but being athletic, you know what I'm saying? Being able to make delicious cuisines,
Yeah.
if we really talking about some,
Delicious
you know what I
oh,
mean?
That
For
man said
sure.
delicious.
But
but
I want to go ahead and throw this up on y'all screen. The 24-hour economic blackout in 2 days, folks. February 28th, the last day of Black History Month. I want to know, will y'all be participating? And do you think this is a great show of strength?
I will participate, but it's not gonna work. 24 hours ain't gonna work. And it's not gonna work everywhere. This is stupid. Whoever made this is just somebody who thinks that it's half. Okay, so common misconception. The average black guy thinks that the United States is half black and half white. That ain't right. That is way off. It's like 6 times as many whites as it is blacks. Free blacks anyway. That's able to buy and generate income. It's way more of them than that. So, let's just keep it real. 24 hours? Nah. To accomplish something like this,
This isn't just black people though.
I
This
this
is
is
love
for,
it
like
because you got to start somewhere.
it ain't gonna work.
Not being able to fathom us having a unified front to us going 3 days, a week, a month, not doing this when we've gone so
Oh,
heavily dependent on this system. If we are able to do just 24 hours, that right there gives us a case study in the future to be like, hey, we done did this before. If we want to do something bigger, we start at something like this. You can't just go full blown into it.
yeah, but you never gonna see your results because it's spread over too many market caps. It's spread over gas. It's spread, and you say it's not just black people. I thought it was just black people.
I think okay. This might have somebody might have started as that, but now I've been seeing for sure just like general
Or allies
public
doing it with us?
lo- yeah, pretty much. So it's not just like I've seen publications and they're not framing it. It's just like a blackout. It's just consumers in general because everybody mad about them eggs.
Okay. Well, I still think that's not gonna work. If you want to destroy,
But look, man,
okay,
if it is everybody or us, can we at least for 24 hours stop being addicted to
24
consumerism?
hours.
if you all right, so whenever you see a cheetah, let's take it all the way back to the motherland. When a cheetah see a field full of gazelles, he see a field full of gazelles. You ever seen it? It'd be like 100 of them just sitting out there looking around, doing stuff like that. Do he charge out the 50 of them or he charge out the one?
You pick one.
He picked one exactly. You gotta. This ain't no shotgun shell. We
That's
gotta
what I'm
find
saying.
one company. You gotta find one company, and you gotta beat him to his knees. That's how you do it.
That's your
That's
time.
how you do it. And then look, it's just like how the slave owners used to do. You gotta grab somebody up and hold him and say, "Look, you next.
Theatrics.
You next. If this happen, if anything, look, if you want some of us, you next." And then you throw them to the wolves. That's what you do.
I agree, and that's your 24 hours.
Exactly. Okay, and then no, like I said, it can't be a shotgun. You gotta pick somebody. I say, let's pick Target, and let's
So,
tell.
why would we pick Target? Like basically to me that doesn't make sense because
They already picked Target.
that like Target is one of the places we don't go to. So instead of us not going to Target and Walmart, you saying let's choose Target, but we can still go to Walmart. That don't really make sense to me. Like just say let's not buy on this day and let at least for them out that one, because if any business they gonna look at every day of revenue, every day of profit and loss. Every business that I've ever worked with is gonna look at every single day. You don't just skip one day on the calendar. So on February 28th, 2025, they gonna see that God.
Okay. So stocks go up and
So
down.
you are participating, Jalen.
Stocks go up and down every day. If you're in the stock market like me, you know that people have good days. Companies have good days and bad days. This is gonna chalk that up as a bad day. You gotta make an example out of somebody. You gotta hang him in front of the congregation. And you gotta have these dudes applying for jobs, looking for places to go. Then they're gonna say, "Oh my God, you saw what they did to them boys in Target? Let's cater to them." But you just have one bad day out of 365. Man, nobody gonna care about that. It ain't gonna do nothing.
Man, it does things on multiple fronts. So you just want to hurt their pockets. Let me tell you, it's gonna be a minute.
Yeah, the trucking industry been trying to do that for years, bro. They always been saying every few months. Everybody in the truck say, "Hey y'all, we not running on this day. We ain't buying gas on this day. We ain't doing it. We standing on side." They've been trying to do it for years, but it ain't gonna work because everybody has different bills. Everybody's truck has different overhead. It ain't gonna work. You gotta pick a specific place and crash.
How long do you think you would have to do that? Like if they were to pick Target, how long do you think? How long would you propose?
Okay, so it's gonna take when you do it. You're gonna have to do it around earnings reports. You're gonna have to do it around a specific time. You got to get everybody on board.
Do it at least a quarter.
How long?
We're gonna do it. You got to do it 4 times a year, for probably I say a month, for an entire month. For 4 times a year, you don't go to this place. I'm talking about crack them. No, you really supposed to just abolish it completely, if you can. Completely make it a ghost land. Then what you got to do is get hedge funds to short the stock.
But let me say this.
Then that's one take go one.
Now this
That's
is
one take go one.
Advanced techniques that you talk. We talking about Joe Blows. Anybody?
Okay, just listen to me, Joe Blow. Just listen to me. I get him up out of here.
The game stop, man. You can put some pressure on them companies, man.
I want to drop this in. So it's like, okay, let's say for instance we did a boycott. In my opinion, a boycott, that's an old school tactic. The only reason we think of boycotts is because that shit worked. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day. But
back in 1955, the global
yeah,
supply
but
chain
see, when you
evolved,
think about the boycott, it's kind of like black people were saying, "Hey, how dare you not let us ride on a bus with you?" It's like, bro, we should have just started our own bus companies.
That's
like
what I'm
when they
talking
tried
about,
to do
man.
that stuff, y'all do know,
Stuff.
people tried things like this, and they were literally burned. Buildings were burned down, mobs were formed. Like it's been multiple times in multiple periods throughout history where black people have tried to get some things together, were successful at it, and then the other side came through and just wrecked things. It ain't 2025.
Okay. 2025.
You say what?
It's 2025 now.
2025.
Right, right, but it's still not to say. And earlier when we were talking about, the black billionaires and millionaires that we have, man, y'all almost got me into my conspiracy bag because I'm just like, yeah, why? We got all these black millionaires, but why ain't nobody just went up there? Akon been building Akon City for 35 years. And I just don't even understand, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, why haven't they? You know what I mean? Why
haven't they what?
Yeah, but man, there's some serious.
Well, okay, let's name these black millionaires you got. Let's just name them. But hey, let's just be real. Let's just be 100.
But hold on. If we just talking millionaires, it's a lot of black millionaires.
It is. Okay, but let's talk about the upper crust. Let's talk about the upper crust. Most of these guys, and this is no disrespect to anybody, but most of these guys who are black upper crust millionaires are entertainers. Okay? So most white guys that are upper crust millionaires and billionaires are businessmen. Okay? So no matter what you say or what you do, LeBron cannot compete business-wise mentally with a Harvard business student. He can't do it. I'm sorry. He can't
Hold
do
on,
it.
man.
He can't do it. He can't do
Wait,
it.
wait, 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 wait. So
Dog.
do you
Can't do
think?
it.
I'm not gonna let you
Wait,
fight.
do you think?
I
Because
think
hold on,
business
you
is
got to
learned,
think, dog.
not
Because Trump,
taught.
president of America right now, and so much of what really matters is who you have around you, not just the
That's what
person,
I'm.
man.
Yeah, that's what I think. I don't. Well, I don't
Go
know. For me, I
look
don't
at
know
the
the same.
top. Okay, go look at the top 10 billionaires. All right, go look at the top 10 billionaires, and you tell me where they were educated at. Okay. All right, you tell me where they were educated at. All of them.
Where was Elon
Bill
Musk
Gates.
educated at?
He went to some school. He went to some
School in
school
Canada.
somewhere else.
What about
But
Jeff Bezos?
He went to school in Canada. Jeff
I don't know
Bezos.
Let's
where
go look.
Bezos went.
Bezos went to like Virginia or something. I don't know.
He went to.
Nah, he went to
He went to
Princeton.
Princeton.
But I came out.
Okay, look. Okay,
because
Princeton, Harvard. Keep going. Bill Gates is Harvard. Elon, I don't know what that is.
Bill Gates didn't go to Harvard Business
But, dog,
School.
you got-
Neither did Mark Zuckerberg. Like none of them boys went there.
Schools at that time. It is what it is.
Okay, but why?
Fact.
Okay, but ain't that funny that they went to Harvard?
I mean, but half of the people
Oh, they
who really
smart
did
as
it big,
hell.
dog, they didn't even finish school. They dropped out. Most of like your big new tech people do. They're Ivy
They
League,
just
yes,
geniuses.
but they're
They
Ivy
just
League.
natural.
Okay, of course they drop out, but it still takes some type of juice to get there. Okay, and that's what I mean.
Dog.
Like Jamie Foxx is rich.
Say that we
Ja-
extremely intelligent.
Jamie Foxx is rich, but dude, Jamie Foxx probably don't know more about actual business than me.
But wait, let me.
I mean, that's
Well, dog,
okay.
you gotta-
He
me say
he's
one
just
thing.
hired.
How
That sound good.
Trying to get accepted.
When
If we look
That
at-
sound
But
good.
dog, we not gonna sit here and talk like we don't have real intelligent people in the
But let me
community
say
out there.
this though, Cam. If you look at
That's a lazy take, bro.
any
It's a
race,
mad lazy-
how many races or anybody do you see prop up a brand new business in response to something? I ain't never seen that happen before. No matter the race. So to expect that out of black people, I mean, people don't do that.
I expect black people to be able to open up a chain of gas stations.
Bro.
Okay, but see,
Bro.
that's what I'm saying right there, Cam. You missing what I'm saying. Most of these people that we have that are these rich black people are entertainers. His specialty is telling jokes. Kevin Hart don't know what Kevin Hart only know what an ROI is because somebody told him. He don't truly know what it is. Kevin Hart don't know what an earnings
but
report
that's
is.
because-
Kevin
But
Hart
that's
don't know what
okay.
a
That's okay.
Kevin
Yeah, he
Hart
knows
doesn't
all
know what
these
a
things.
Abetna is. I'm
That's
telling you,
because
that's what it is.
Allocated capital
Wait, so
to
are
him.
we?
Because that's what they valued in the market at
Are
the
we
time.
eliminating? Sorry,
What?
go ahead, Cam. Go ahead.
If we push more people in, so we don't prop people up in this community who've done something. It's a whole. You look at, you know who Aisha Bow is?
I heard of him. I heard of the name.
She a whole black astronaut. You don't
I
even
heard
know
it,
who
dude.
she
Yes, I have.
is.
I put up a
You know who-
I put up a post
you
about her
heard
before.
Another black astronaut. We got people in our community who do it big. I mean, dog. One of my friends, I know black woman. She is a 4-star general, bro. I'm saying we are in high
We don't
level
put 'em on-
positions. We as a community do not boost and do not advertise
Exactly.
these people. But you know who we do boost? Entertainers and people in
Okay.
pop culture.
It's just
Okay,
like,
Cam.
I go to these big cities,
Culture-
man. I go to these big cities and I see all these.
Are they the anomaly? Are they the Okay, so you naming her? Is she the anomaly or is she
Go to
the?
DC, bro? It's hella people. Go to New York. It's a class of wealthy
Man,
black people out there. A heavy
How
class
many?
of them.
And now, how many is that compared to the white counterparts?
All right.
I mean, well, you got to look at population.
Okay,
ratio.
yeah, we're talking about. Okay, if you gathered all the whites there and all the blacks there,
Per capita, per population.
what would it look like?
The white
I'm not saying that.
entertainers who are rich per white people population in the U.S. than it is blacks.
These
And
guys that you're talking
we
about,
just
these
put
guys that
on the that's what we look up to in the community. Like I said, it goes back to those values. What are we valuing? That's
That's
what
what
it
I'm saying. So Cam, you got these
I
guys
know
right here that you're
something
talking about that's in New York.
Spend some time in the DC metro area, bro, and you will see what I'm talking about, bro. Like the demographics and the education levels there dramatically different than the rest of the
Like
country,
I gotta
bro.
agree. Like when I went to see for me, it just takes getting out of. I ain't gonna characterize a certain area like this, but when I went to certain places, and I say I went to Seattle, and I saw just a group of young black people in that area, like I was just highly impressed, and that was a very small sample. So I'm just imagining if it's happening here, you know what I mean, and these people say that they know, people like themselves, they have friends that do the same things in other areas, New York, California, whatever it may be. It's just like I think that we have to have a large group of people, in the black population who do represent us well and who are wealthy. You know what I'm saying? But we don't look up to these people. We don't put these people on a pedestal. We don't, you know. I don't-
Bro, go to Maryland, man. That's all I'm saying, dog. It's places where we're doing
I've been
well,
there. I
man.
know
And all
Prince
you have
George.
to go
I used to date this girl who lived in what is it called? Prince. It's the richest county in America. It's in Maryland or something. What is it called? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's where she stayed at. But look, man, I know about that area, but at the same time,
I'm
she
just
was
saying, bro,
very different
bro,
from
you
the
can
rest
go
of the
to
other people
Houston,
that went
too.
to school with us. I'll tell you that. And look, I don't want to say too much because it's going to be recorded. I may want to run for office, and I need the black vote, so I can't say everything I want to say. But
No, you need to get slap them in the head.
Yeah, hey, you way past
That's
that.
what.
You
Hey,
done
you was
grabbed a
just
slave. You done hung him out in front of the courtyard.
Tell them how you feel.
You
doing Black
done. You
History
hey,
Month.
done.
I already lost. Okay,
You,
so
It might be too
You really
late
don't
for
keep
all.
on doing that.
Like,
okay, so if you look at the success rate compared to, let's just say, Indians towards blacks, what is it then? And what I'm saying is,
Okay,
these
you want to
people,
know
we
why?
need saving.
Hold on. I have something for you on this too. Let me ask you this. Look at the success rate of African immigrants to America. Look at what like the Nigerian populace that's immigrated here. You will find similar levels of success as you do to other
Yes, I agree
immigrant
with that.
populations. The real issue is
And
cultural
that's who we talking
and
about.
historic discrimination amongst the black Americans that are already here. It
Culture
is what it
that
is on
bad.
that. But like I said, it's cultural, man. It's not purely an intellectual thing. It's what do you value in your community? What do you promote and what do you guide
And
people
every
to?
time you see those Africans together, what do they be? They be together. They be together.
Exactly.
They be together.
I'm gonna tell you though, whenever you go to another country and you are there for an extended period of time, you are going to want to get with those people who are just like you. Trust me. When I went to Brazil for 2 months, all I wanted during the entire time where I could hardly ran into anybody that spoke English was just one person who could experience all this with me, that could understand where I was from and could relate to things. When I seen something like a Mason sign, you know what I'm saying, just a big statue in the middle of nowhere in playground or something like that, they could be like, bruh, Mason, like all the way over here like that. But that's crazy. You know what
Oh,
I'm
so
saying?
you was a passport, bro?
Basically.
hey, ain't mad.
Can't wait to go to Brazil, man.
But yeah, it's just like when I've
Y'all
seen,
need to come to Japan with us. We coming to Japan in September.
yeah, even with my you gonna gravitate towards those people that are like you. You know what I'm saying? Like
All right.
in an unknown place.
For sure.
Well, I mean, I ain't trying to get killed out here. What do y'all think about black guys dating white girls?
Hey, that's a topic for another
It is.
podcast.
Well, now we finna speak
I'm
about
joking.
this one right here.
Dog,
Hey, you go ahead and put it up.
dog, I be
Woman charged in shooting death of Waynesboro man. I can't you lead this topic off.
wait.
Okay.
was Waynesboro.
That's in Georgia. Or you talking
So
about the one in
no,
Virginia?
it was in Burke County, Georgia, where 25-year-old Hannah Cobb is now facing involuntary manslaughter charges following the fatal shooting of her 30-year-old boyfriend Telvin Osborne.
Dog, I mean, that's crazy that all that happened. But
Yeah,
anybody could have done
You
man.
that
got
for
it,
real,
Lo?
man. It ain't, dog. Look, man, it ain't nothing. Dude, realistically, the only thing that probably is gonna save us in America is gonna be that interracial dating. Dude, to be honest with you, that's a joke. But they're not about to kill me for
Whoa.
this. They about to. Hey, I mean, dude, I don't know, man. We in 2025, man. Ain't no wrong little bit of snow.
I'm gonna say
Look,
this.
look what he said. I kill for, I kill about her, and I ain't scared to say
She looked
I'll
crazy
die
too.
about her.
He might have went out
That
happy
didn't
though.
age well. Yeah.
What you
Yeah,
mean he
dog.
went out happy?
He looked like he was enjoying it until that all happened. He said he had some strong feelings
Man, you
towards
know
her.
how you have your preferences? That what makes me mad about society nowadays. A brother can't have preferences no more. And it's just like growing up, you know.
Oh,
Hey,
dog, that's
look at this, look at it, look at
that.
this. I love them white
Hold
girls.
that
Hey man,
thought, Jalen. Hold that
hey,
thought.
I love them white girls. They already
What?
know. Now I don't know what this means. Telbo in between, Telbo in between. Team white girls, team snow bunnies. I told my whatever that say. Team white girls greater than black girls. Miss Wet Wet.
see, this is where the education
Hey,
system
show that
fails right
last one.
here.
Nah, I ain't gonna show that one, bro.
Hey, the man said he'd rather do a dog than do a black woman, but it got to be a white dog though.
Let's see, we talking about something totally different now.
Right.
That's different,
This is
It's
man.
a
just self hate,
Hey,
whole.
bro. Like,
hey, man. I think love is love, man, and whoever you love, man, you should go for it, man. No matter the
Wait,
skin
this is a
color,
little
et cetera,
excessive
et
though,
cetera, et
Cam. This is a
cetera.
little excessive. What?
I mean, yo, the boy tripping. He has some self hate issues going on. Realistically, the boy needed to be up in some therapy. But rest in peace, rest in peace, rest in peace, man. I just, man, that could happen with anybody though, man. But he was tripping. It ain't like she killed him
man,
because
it's
he was
just,
black.
Shut up.
She killed him because he was crazy.
It wasn't a rate. It wasn't a hate crime. Huh? It was a love, a love affair. Is that what it was?
My thing
I
with
don't
it
see the
is,
details of this.
okay, if you
Dog, they both seem very
if
mentally unstable. If we
if
being
you
real here.
like a certain race, that's cool. But that don't mean you just gotta say, forget
I
everybody
hate the
else.
other ones.
Yeah, that's the thing with me is like, I don't know
Yeah.
what kind of world we live in now. If you say, yeah, I like Drake, that automatically means you hate Kendrick. It's like, bro, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying I rock with Drake. But what you
Yeah.
were saying about preferences though, Jalen?
well, when we were talking about the original question, I feel like that's what was asked, like how y'all feel about interracial relationships, and then we kind of went into that story right there. So I don't know if we was really discussing the original question ever.
Yeah.
Really just talking about the post.
Yeah, we
But
weren't
my
ready for that
main
post.
thing with it was what I was saying was it just like one, everybody grew up with preferences and stuff like that. You might have had like the light skin, you might like, dark skin, red bone, yellow bone, you know what I'm saying? And in the time we was in, that was cool. You know what I mean?
Brown skin, black hair.
All that.
That's it for me, man.
I used to say light skin with
Mhm.
hazel eyes
Red
and,
bone.
curly hair and shit. You like that, but it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like when it comes to now, we look at it in a different way. But to me, even when it comes to race, that's the aspect that's the lens that we should look at it in. Like growing up, you know what I'm saying? You used to like different skin tones, you know what I'm saying? It's just like I got a favorite color. If I got a favorite color, don't nobody judge me for my favorite color being black. Yes, my favorite color is black. But it's just like don't nobody judge me for that. So why am I judged when my favorite color is light skin or my favorite color is red bone or yellow bone?
I
Right?
kind of judge you for your favorite color being black.
Yeah, I was
But
thinking it too. I wasn't gonna say nothing, but like
Yeah,
it's
y'all,
kind of
y'all
whack.
know that black looks great on cars and clothes and I. But anyway, you know, and then also I think it plays to the tune of, and I think we talked about this in a previous podcast, but bringing it up again, survivability. So it's just like that man wanted to sow his seed to continue his legacy, continue his bloodline. I don't see anything wrong with if that preference translates into relationships and marriage as well. If you want to continue on what is you believe the black race and you as a black man want that's your prerogative, I don't see anything wrong with that because we've seen that being done in every aspect, whether you black, white, Asian, Hispanic, everything. So I don't see anything wrong with that.
Ain't no wrong with a little snowman.
So
I'm
man,
just saying, love who you love, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we should judge
Come
people.
so
on
you
now.
saying love wins?
Well, let me
He
say,
said, well,
yo,
I'm a
well, well,
traditional
well,
person a
well,
little bit.
well.
I'm a traditional person, so I'm gonna leave that there. But I just mean as far as like, and when it comes to race, I don't think that's a boundary. But I just feel like if you do want to keep it in your race, that's cool. If you want to be Dr. Umar, that's perfectly fine as well. I don't think the people who just out here saying that, like you said, love wins. I don't think the love wins people should be out here chastising the people that want to love within in their race. Like I think it's cool whatever you align with, but you know what I'm saying, keep
yeah,
it over there. Yeah.
yeah, I feel you on that. I've dated outside of my race multiple times. So I and it never was a thought of like I want to be with this other race because I hate my race. Like that was never a thought. It was more so I like this person.
Right.
Right. I just like this person. I think they're attractive, yes, but like I want to get to know them more. And so you date them. I mean, y'all know I ended up married to a black woman, but like that that doesn't mean that like the people before when I was with other people before, like I was never looking at black women. It's just I met somebody that I was like, yeah, I rock with them. They get me they're on the same level as me. And then just kind of snowballed into kind of like what you just been joking about, Anthony, about love wins. But
Yeah,
like, I mean, that is what happened. Love won. Like I
And I
love
think
the person I ended
yeah.
with.
I think as a
But
human race, we don't look at presence enough. We don't look at like the fact that your surroundings, your environment plays a big part into the person that you end up being with. Sometimes it's just the right place at the right time type deal when it comes to the person that you choose to be yoked with. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Hmm.
like Shaq, I want you to tell us about your situation that how it was with a white girl because I never dated. I conversated, penetrated, and I skated. But I want you to tell us about your experience, man.
I just feel hostile, man. I feel it's
Yeah, like I
I
want to
just
know
feel it's like a trap.
what that's like, man.
It's
Like you meet a family, you meet a parents. How it was with a dad.
yeah,
Cause me, I just
it's
was on some wham bam, thank you, man. You know what I'm saying?
oh man, it was so yeah, it was I mean it's a different experience, right?
All I see
They
was feeding the air. You know what I'm saying? Well, go ahead.
you, you crazy. Uh it's a different experience though, man. It's you have to you have to understand that they don't understand everything that you are used to, right? And so it's kind of like when you work with other cultures, you don't make the same jokes that you would, with somebody else that black that doesn't, you're not gonna understand the joke, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same deal, but
Does that
there
affect the
do feel
relationship at all? Like, do you feel like you can't be 100% you? Like, you gotta like guardrail some of you a little bit? Does that affect anything to you?
Not with the person that I'm with, right? So like that's why I would end up with that person, right? Because I could be myself with them. But when it comes to like meeting their family and everything, right? I'm a little bit more reserved, right? So that was probably, I mean, that's kind of no different than you meeting the same, someone with
Yeah.
your same race. Like you're still gonna be a little reserved, but you know the
I hate,
boundaries
I hate
better.
we don't give people the benefit of the doubt. I really do.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times when it comes to race, we kind of put people in these silos, and it's just like you can meet somebody who's white who really like into a lot of the shit that you into. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I said, that environment plays a large part in everything. So it's just like I don't like the people that kind of cage people in certain boxes just because of their race. Like they don't keep an open mind that yes, you can have, you know what I'm saying, a Middle Eastern rapper and they still go stupid. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
you know,
you chatting now?
you like
Yeah,
all that type of stuff. Like I don't like people that kind of close people out. Like, you
Yeah,
know.
and
yeah.
I'll go a step further. I'm not gonna lie. I like to see the proof of that too. Like how you got some white athletes. Like I never seen a white running back that was as good as Christian McCaffrey. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? I've never seen a white receiver like what's his name? Cooper, whatever his name is. Cooper. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Cooper
I like
Cup.
to see that. Like, yeah, Cooper Cup, Jeremy Lin in the NBA. I like to see that because see, I'm of the belief that, anybody is capable of doing whatever they want as long as they put the work in. And when you see those instances of like, a white person who not supposed to be athletic doing athletic stuff, it just goes to show everybody capable of everything. That's why
Exactly.
you love to see a black person like Neil deGrasse Tyson in like an intellectual field. You know what I'm saying? It's just breaking all that stuff up. Like, bro, this is the proof.
Like
We
what?
can all do what we want to do, just based on
Hmm.
what we decide to do.
Yeah. Well, we pour
Hmm.
Man, we just can't. We do at some point, man. We've also got to be realistic about some of the diversity conversation that we've been pushing, man. If we too need to somewhat, it's a hard thing to say, man, but we've got to also work on the integration and the kind of sort of way. We still need to practice our group economics and all these things and have identity within the culture. But I think it is still very fruitful for us to really engage with other cultures and kind of like, kind of blend with them in certain ways as well.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as America ain't hidden right now, dude, that's a lot of what the American experiment is about. And so much of what we've actually really asked for is to be seen equally and to be kind of be able to coexist with people, man. And if we can't show that we can do that, trust me, it ain't gonna be them to lead the
You
charge
make a
on that
good
one.
point. I think
We gotta do it the
I
right,
think
smart
our
way and
culture
everything. But
goes out and
yeah,
influences a lot, but we don't get a lot of influence back. You know what I'm saying? We like
hmm
if it could be like a cycle where we learn some stuff from them, they learn some stuff from us. It'll be beautiful. But I do want to go ahead and push us to the quick hits topic. I'm gonna just throw this up on y'all screen. The logo, Jerry West, the NBA. Ratings down big time over the past 10 years, even this year specifically. Like, what y'all think about the NBA? Is it like, why are the ratings down? What's going on?
no more trench babies, man.
We got Ja Morant.
Yeah, we got John. We got for real. We really got Anthony Edwards.
But
That's the
Anthony
That's the real
Edwards don't have that
conversation.
much talent like that. Though. I mean, I don't want to say it like that. He's great, but
Yeah,
he's
but
not
I mean,
like you saw what happened to him last year.
yeah, you need the personality though to go with the stuff, dude. You need kind of like the NBA. Dude, AAU is also a killer of this whole thing, man. Everybody friends now. They're hanging out outside of the game. They at the club and stuff. The players used to like really hate each other, like there was rivalries and stuff. I mean, what's the real rivalry right now? Who we really can't wait to see go at it against each other, and they're gonna bring it with the real like passion.
I agree with that.
Mm.
Man, I think we can
That's
break
how you
this
know the
down
NBA
a
hit,
whole
dog.
lot
We
more
like,
though.
yeah, it just, it's a flat
I
product at
think
the
we can
moment.
break this a whole
The
lot
3-point
more.
shot also kind of killed the game a little bit.
I think the NFL is just a more globally exchangeable sport.
Is you mean you said
The
the NFL or the
NFL, I'm
NBA?
just comparing because to look at what's wrong with the NBA, you kind of got to look at what makes other things successful. So I think that when we look at the NBA, I always tell people it's nonstop action. It's going down the court. You got offense, defense, going back down the same thing. Every play is something. I enjoy it, but for one, it's not a violent sport. You know what I mean? We've seen throughout history since the days of the Mandingo that violence is something that just is perpetuated throughout human history, and it seems to be something we enjoy. Look at that. Look at UFC. Look at boxing. So that's one aspect that NBA misses because it's a game of finesse. Two, I don't think it translates as well because of that. And if you look at things like football, soccer, it's something that is like globally renowned. It's something that's not locked into the U.S. People been playing this sport. You know what I mean? Basketball was started in the U.S. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of your younger sports as well. So I think in today's time, back when NBA was in its heyday, you had much less entertainment. You had much less things for it to compete with. So I think that it's just we're growing out of the age of people that were kind of indoctrinated into the LeBron Jameses, you know what I'm saying, the KDs. As these players go out, I think also your base is phasing out as well. You know what I'm saying? And of course, it's still people there because you have sports in schools and different things like that. But I think that it's going to be very hard to get the sport of basketball back to where it was, kind of in its heyday at this point.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
kind.
I don't know, man, dude. I think the NBA, I think basketball is way bigger of a global sport
Football.
than
Football really only played in
American
America.
football
football.
is.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, a
Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
Bowl ticket in the nosebleeds was $6,000.
But dog, you gotta think who owns so much of the
But
global
that's what I'm
monetary
telling you.
supply,
Those
dog.
weren't football fans at that game. NFL has a lot more of
NFL is bigger than the NBA.
Dog, I don't
NFL
know.
is bigger than the NBA for
Soccer and
sure.
basketball
it's that
But the
is
NBA
way,
got
way,
more of
way,
a
way
global
bigger than
appeal
NFL.
though.
Yeah.
They do in China. They playing
Yeah.
ball. Slovakia,
yeah.
Lithuania, dude. I seen some of the
It
spots
I
like
Look,
put it
look,
this
Slovakia
way,
stuff,
Jalen.
dude.
It's
They
it's different basketball leagues around the world. It's only one American football league because everybody
but
else
it's a
calls
lot
soccer
of
football.
football leagues throughout the professional football leagues throughout the world. My friend, I won't say his name because whatever, but he was playing in the European league. You know what I'm
I know
saying?
you talking about. You talking about
Wait a
Chill
minute,
Will?
playing American football?
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
America.
he was. Yeah,
I mean, they
yeah,
got little
yeah. He
leagues over
was.
there. Got a few
He was
little
playing
leagues
that,
over there.
but it ain't like Yeah, I mean, so
It's not like basketball leagues like
America's
FIBA and all those like
America
other
definitely likes
football leagues.
football more than basketball because, like, when you look at revenue wise, NFL is bigger than NBA. So I see what he's saying.
Yeah,
I
because
see
we
what
a
you're
vi-
saying.
But let me say this: you don't see no old washed up football players going to play nowhere else except for Canada. NBA, you can still pull up on China,
Oh,
and you got big
that
leagues with
goes back to
exposure.
what I was saying about the physicality of the sport, though. You won't, after 5 years, you're considered a veteran in the NFL.
Okay, but let's say somebody after 2 years isn't good enough to be really competitive in the league. Where they going? Canada or one of them little semi-pro leagues we got in the U.S. It's just, dude, to me, I don't see it having that true global reach, man.
NBA ain't
Honestly,
making bank. We seen how what's his
yeah,
name? That
but
nigga
I
was
feel
crying
like
to get back in the
for
NBA.
basketball from a global perspective is
What's the
much
little
higher.
short dude who played for the Isaiah Thomas? This man was crying to get back in the NBA.
Hey, on average, basketball players do make more. I think on average, the highest is baseball, but then it's basketball, football players.
No, basketball is the highest now, especially when
Oh,
you consider endorsements.
oh, it's higher. Okay, okay. So basketball's taking over with bread. Hey,
That don't
But
make
yeah,
sense.
okay, that was just a quick hit. I want to move y'all over to this last one. There
Ron
he is, the GOAT.
DeSantis.
What did you get done last week? In case y'all don't know,
I want to
Elon
hear Cam.
Musk sent
I want
out.
to hear Cam talk on this.
Well, we've been waiting on Cam on this one. Sent out an email to all federal employees asking, write 5 bullet points. What did you get done last
Hold
week?
on, y'all. Can I say one thing?
Go
The
ahead.
NFL's 32 teams generated an estimated 20.5 billion in revenue last year, 72% higher than the MLB. And I'll leave it there. We can continue.
They don't share. They don't share their revenue with the players
Nobody
the
play
same
no
way though.
baseball.
Believe that.
But that wasn't the discussion. We were talking about the league, the organization. So we NFL as a whole, NBA as a whole. You know, because when we talk about what revenue they bringing in, viewership and stuff like that, a lot
Oh,
more
it's the
players.
NFL, no doubt.
NFL domestically, but when you kind of try to make it seem as if like across the world that the NBA is really doing it big. I mean, well, the NFL is doing it bigger than basketball
Hey,
kind of is
money
globally,
talk.
and you can kind of see that in the sport itself. Look who's balling in the league now. We talking about Luca. We
So
talking about
if we
Jokovic.
not talking about money and statistics, then what are we talking about? Just saying that like
I think globally there's more
what-
money in NBA. In basketball globally, there's more money than there is in the
because if the
NFL
NFL
globally.
brings
But
in more
domestically,
money,
yes.
how do you say that the NBA is bigger globally?
Well,
Those
Because
revenues,
Believe
more
that.
translation.
those revenues come from not just America; they're worldwide.
know we try to move on to the other topic, but I'll just say this a little bit. In my opinion on the NBA thing, I would question. I wonder if the NBA has done as good of a job as creating new lead characters as the NFL has. That's all I'll say. Unless y'all want me to say more, but I'll drop
right.
that right there.
I'm here.
I agree. But yeah, so this Elon message went out to people. I wish we could have had our in-house federal employee on today. He said that a email came out from his direct supervisor saying don't respond to the email, and Elon apparently said if you don't respond, then he gonna just accept that as a resignation.
He can't fire
So
nobody. He can't fire anybody. Like him himself. Like that's that's kind of insane to think that he can just say that and be like, if you don't respond back, I'm gonna fire you. That's just like me just sent DMing somebody on Instagram randomly and being like, respond to this message, or else if you don't respond by midnight, I don't know, I'm gonna cancel your account or, or something like he doesn't have the power to actually fire anybody. So I mean, I don't know if your question was leading this way, but yeah, I think they're right for telling the people ignore what he said because it's baseless. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I heard
yeah,
that some people said, some companies told people to ignore it, but some companies didn't. So I just wonder for those companies that didn't, and they roll with what Elon said, what did the employees actually have to do?
Well, basically, what he's really going to do, man, is he's going to take those emails and he's going to run them through a little AI type review system, and it's going to ask, out of these, who seems to be useless and who can we just go cut from a numerical perspective.
Yep.
Man, I've been telling people, man, especially these conservatives and these Republicans down here in Texas. You guys think about the government and all these things is very conceptual. You don't have a lot of insight into how stuff actually works. You don't really take into account these people in these jobs. You don't take into account the effect on the economy that these people have. And what you also don't take into account is what they're trying to do right now with a lot of this automations and just pure cost cutting and seeing what AI can do and automate within something as large as the federal government. You know where they're going to take that next. They're going to spin this out probably into it. Elon probably have a brand new product via his XAI in the future based around corporate cost cutting in larger corporations. They coming for your job next. It's just a very interesting thing, man. And just people don't really. I don't think people really associate the human element of government and the fact that they're lucky that they actually have people in these roles trying to advocate for certain causes and for them as people. Because pretty soon you just gonna have kind of AI really dictating stuff, and when it's a numbers game, ooh, I'd hate to be poor. I'd hate to be black. I'd hate to be of a lower social
You are
class.
black.
I know. Black and broke. It don't get no worse than that, man. They coming for me. I mean, dog, when you really look at it, the demographic of people, when they always talking about these people and these jobs and your DEI and they mad about minorities having these positions, but they don't outright say it. For the most part, they talking about us. A large population of those people don't think that we deserve to have what we have, and they feel as if they've lost a lot over. I don't know, may have been held 10, 15 years, 10, 15 years where they're not the center of everybody's attention at all times. As soon as things start to get leveled out a little bit, they start saying, man, all these black chicks get all these degrees. What the fuck is going on? Fuck this black guy become a
Well,
manager. What the hell is going on?
well, the truth is, it's just not enough white men to produce enough GDP for America to compete.
That's true.
Dog, I hate to say this, man, and dude, I could surely get probably canceled for this one. Dogs, white folks overrate themselves all the time. I grew up with white people. Dog. I went to 4% ethnic schools, man, growing up, man. Hey, they have this like sense of internalized, like
Confidence.
maybe we should have a little more internal. I don't know how to
Ego.
explain it, but they have these expectations that just aren't realistic with their actual abilities and their actual achievements in life. They think that they should just be able to graduate high school and get a nice job like in the old days in the 50s and have a house and kids and a wife and a family. Dog, them days is over. First off, women can read, so they ain't just trying to go up in the kitchen and do that shit no more. Second of all, man, dude, you got to compete, man. You got to go after the education, the certifications, etc. And that's something that we know we had to prove ourselves, so we've done. But you know, when you have somebody like Elon, dude, like so much of this angst against the government, man, it runs so deep. And I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to what they've been doing with this new budget and the bill that they just passed last night in the House. They were trying so hard to extend these tax cuts and get some more tax breaks out here, which largely, overwhelmingly benefit the billionaire class of America.
Yeah.
But you know what's going to have to get cut for this? Because realistically, you cutting these fads and stuff. Like I said, I think a few pods ago, I don't think the actual people working don't account for 4% of the budget. You can cut, but until you cut the military, you're not really
Man, I
cutting
was
That's what
nothing.
we gonna see what he
But
really
so
about.
what you gonna
said
cut?
on the last podcast.
Medicaid,
Hold on.
Medicare, SNAP, food stamps, and free lunch for children. Those are the items that are on the docket. You can look up the bill and see how they're having to make the cuts to make these breaks
And
for
when
these
I
rich
bought
people out here. And we let them do it. People eat it up, and they say, "Yeah, them greedy people up there in D.C. out here doing it." You old stupid people, man. I just can't believe it.
I be
The rich man north of Richmond. They just want total
Hey,
control. You
man,
heard that song?
I'm from South. I'm from South. All that you don't want to be there, dog. Going from Southern Virginia to going to the D.C. area is like going on the Underground Railroad and getting to freedom.
No.
I'm serious, man.
Crazy.
Y'all don't
But I
know.
ain't gonna lie though. One thing you said that I wanted to let you finish, but you know how you said like white guys have this like you said entitlement. Jalen chimed in and said ego. Shaq said something, but I didn't quite catch it. I ain't gonna lie.
Confidence.
Actually, huh?
Confidence. Yeah.
Confidence. See, I heard it as like audacity. I ain't gonna lie, man. I actually admire that shit.
You gotta
I really
We
admire
need
that
more
gotta
shit.
of it in our
have it. I,
Like,
sport.
I watched this anime, not to take away from you, but I just watched this anime. It's called Blue Lock, and it's about this dude who's trying to basically perfect his craft in soccer. And you know, when he gets to basically playing against the best players in the world, he's like, "What is it that separates them from him?" You know what I'm saying? Like, I basically, my skill set is analyzing and adapting. Like, you almost can't get better than this. So, like, what is the thing that I'm missing? And it was ego. It was super ego. Is that no matter how you know who you go against, what the situation is, you feel like you can go in and wreck some shit. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's the situation you gotta have. You're not gonna be able to start nothing from the ground up without any kind of prior assistance or guidance or leadership. If you ain't got the ego, the audacity to know to feel like you can be that guy to do that, you're not gonna make it. That's the thing. We get down and we get this, that, and the third, bro. The only way you get past some of the circumstances that we are in as black people is by having the ego, having that confidence. You know what I'm
Assume a virtue if you have not.
you know what I'm saying? It's a mastering ego thing. Sometimes we let ego take control and you know what I'm saying, guide us in a negative way. But it's about mastering your ego. If you can master your ego and use it for good, oh, you a powerful man.
And once again, that's how it is. In our community, a person who's sure of himself is looked. They try to alienate him. That's me. That's my whole life.
But it
It's like
depends.
it's like it's like people take it think it's my job to try to bust him down a peg. Yeah, try to make him feel
yes.
like he ain't who he think he is. But you
Now
can't
that's
stop
fair, but
this train,
sometimes,
baby.
a lot of
Gonna
times,
get hit.
in our case, it's dogmatism. It's like people running with the idea of what
Hold on.
somebody else came up with as cool. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we run into them issues that we have earlier about
A
our, you
blind
know,
leading the blind.
exactly about our cares being misplaced. Is that right there? You know what I'm saying?
Heck yeah. And see that's one thing that like it kind of like shocked me a little bit because like I kind of have that in me. It's like I think I can do anything I want. You know what I'm saying? Like who can stop me? But you kind of like run into a roadblock in your life, especially in black culture, when you think you can do anything you want, and then people think that's a problem. You know what I mean? But then you hear about like, man, yeah, white, like even on Atlanta, I remember it was an episode. He said, and Caitlyn Jenner just been doing what white men been doing for the past 2,000 years, which is whatever they want. And I was like, that's actually kind of fly, you know. I was like, he's trying to make it sound bad, but that's fly though, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, are there any closing remarks on this, man?
So I
Go
want to
ahead.
say that a lot of the big, you know, I think one of the main factors that's kind of playing in the background with some of the topics we were talking about today when it comes to the plight of the black race is that we playing against a system that has stacked detriment upon detriment upon detriment upon us and has segmented and siloed us so much to a point where it's very hard to have a united front. And I feel like times where we have been able to have that, where we have been able to have that, it's kind of been stumped out or you know stamped out, whatever it may be. So um, I think that's how we kind of start bridging the gap is we figure out you know what is it that's keeping us segmented and we really dissect that system that put us in these places.
For
Okay,
sure.
and and then you got certain people. Um, the thing that is holding us back is people want to like who they're receiving information from.
I like it.
Yeah.
You
So
chatting now.
so when somebody who they don't like or somebody who they think they're not supposed to like telling them something, they try to write the information off as non-valid.
Another thing I noticed too is they try to teach us that you can't be inspired by somebody unless they look like you. That's also a big mistake. But
Ooh, that's T right there, y'all. Yeah, so next
chatting
pod.
now,
Next
chatting
pod.
now.
Said that
But yeah, guys, I just want to say, man, I really enjoyed this format. These conversations we've been having about the nuance of like being black in black culture, the good and the bad. That's really what this pod is about. That's really the value it brings. So, anything that you ponder in your black experience, man, bring it to the pod. We could have a conversation about it. Get different opinions, man. That's the beauty of this thing.
So,
So I appreciate y'all for joining the pod. I want to thank y'all, Jalen, Cam, Arkeem, Shaq, and we got 5 fouls, and we about to foul out. Peace.